Bless America!
Benito, how was it out there? How was it?
That was great.
Bad Bunny's Apple Music halftime show ripped apart by Donald Trump on Truth Social as, quote, one of the worst ever. The Grammy winner's Spanish language performance, which Trump labels a slap in the face to our country, was a celebration of America, with shoutouts to countries and territories across North and South America, including his home, Puerto Rico, part of the US.
The gut timing is perfect, and estoy muy agradecido. I'm very happy and grateful. Biggest pleasure is just create, have fun doing it, and connect with the people.
The president taking offense to Benito's Spanish, writing, "Nobody understands a word this guy is saying," calling it an affront to the greatness of America.
U.S. President Donald Trump said Puerto Rican singer Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show was a slap in the face to our country, and nobody understands a word this guy is saying. He just tweeted, "The Super Bowl halftime show is absolutely terrible, one of the worst ever. It makes no sense, is an affront to the greatness of America, and doesn't represent our standards of success, creativity, or excellence. Nobody understands a word this guy is saying, and the dancing is disgusting, especially for young children that are watching from throughout the USA and all over the world." Trump condemned Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show as one of the worst ever, criticizing it as un-American, confusing, inappropriate for children, and lacking creativity or inspiration, while also accusing the media of falsely praising it and using the post to boast about the U.S. economy and complain about the NFL's kickoff rule. While, in a recent appearance on a popular late-night talk show, Puerto Rican superstar Bad Bunny told audiences that he does not pay attention to critics and prefers to follow his own instincts. "I don't listen to the critics," he said. "I do what I want."
My name is Benito, and I'm very excited to be here on Sábado Gigante. Oh, sorry. Sorry, SNL. People are wondering if I can host this show because English is not my first language. I don't know if they know, but I do whatever I want. So I can host this show in English. I can order McDonald's in English.
While asking about the show, Trump avoided choosing a side in the Super Bowl, saying only that it featured two strong teams with interesting storylines, before pivoting to a broader message about the country, claiming the United States has gone from being a global laughingstock to being more respected than ever under his leadership.
Is there a particular sport you're interested in seeing?
In the Super Bowl, who are you going for?
What, the game?
The Super Bowl, yeah.
I can't say that. But they are really two good teams. They're very interesting because you had one quarterback who looks like he wasn't going to make it, and he made it. And then you have another one who's young, and they probably wish they played him last year, right? He's done great. But you have two great teams. And Bob Kraft is a fabulous owner, a friend of mine. New England's amazing that they're there. Who would think? It's like a second, you can't say dynasty yet. They had a dynasty. You'll have to win a lot of games before you create another one. But I think it's going to be a great game. Because here's my message. And our country has never been in a position like this. We were a laughingstock all over the world.
Trump said in a social media post that the Super Bowl halftime show, fronted by Puerto Rican singer Bad Bunny, was absolutely terrible. Bad Bunny, whose given name is Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio, headlined the Super Bowl halftime show in Santa Clara, California, bringing Spanish language and reggaeton rhythms to the annual American football spectacle. Senior comedian Jimmy Fallon brutally mocked Trump, calling Bad Bunny a ridiculous choice for the Super Bowl halftime show. Let's see this video.
You guys see this? President Trump called Bad Bunny a ridiculous choice for the Super Bowl halftime show. But also admitted that he's never heard of him. But I guess he's trying to get familiar with Bad Bunny's music because he just started learning Spanish.
Oh.
Now, check out how he's doing it.
Do you want to learn Spanish?
See?
Then you need Duolingo. Trump Edición. It's easy. Repeat after me. Biblioteca.
Billy Ray Cyrus.
Restaurante.
Repeat your...
Muchas gracias.
McDonald's.
Hasta luego.
I said, well, let's see how we say that.
Necesito Melania.
Mosquito.
Multiple Trump-aligned people promoted the event on social media, including Secretary of Defense Steve Hegseth, who shared the broadcast with the caption, "The Hegseth family is watching." The Super Bowl itself was relatively uneventful compared to what happened during the games. At halftime, the Seattle Seahawks were leading the New England Patriots 9-0 in a poorly played game that was overshadowed by both the spectacle and controversy of the play stoppage. Bad Bunny, the Puerto Rican reggaeton and Latin trap superstar, has a huge following in the US. His music crosses language barriers. People love his energetic beats, catchy hooks, and bold style, even if they don't always understand every lyric. He's collaborated with major US artists too, which has expanded his fan base even more. Watch this report.
I'm excited for Bad Bunny. Music is music. I love music, so Bad Bunny, however many followers, and he's going to put on a show. Probably the best ever.
Super excited. Every time I heard, since I heard that he was going to perform to the halftime show, that's all I could think about.
Bad Bunny is an American citizen. He happens to sing in Spanish. He's the number one, recording artist in the country right now. He just won a whole bunch of Grammys. You couldn't pick a better one.
And then there are those who say they're open to experiencing him.
Earlier on, the White House said President Donald Trump would prefer to watch the TUSA Kid Rock halftime show rather than Bad Bunny's.
At the Mar-a-Lago Super Bowl party, after the first two quarters, are the TVs going to be on the halftime show with Bad Bunny or the halftime show with Kid Rock?
I think the president would much prefer a Kid Rock performance over Bad Bunny, I must say that.
In this report, news analyst Benjamin Alvarez Gruber explains how the reaction of the public has been predominantly positive for Bad Bunny's services, such as through comments made by sports professionals. However, conservative groups have been critical of how the performance was done in Spanish, calling it un-American.
There was an incredible energy when he came out. He showed those surprise guests. There were a lot of rumors who would join him on stage. It ended up being Ricky Martin, so a clear sign also to Puerto Rico, his island. We had Lady Gaga on stage too, and a very clear message at the end. The only thing stronger than hate is love. A lot of salsa dancing, a lot of movement during this 13 minutes. But of course, a lot of controversy following this announcement by the NFL, and also some first reactions. Only to recap for a minute, there were so many that were critical of Bad Bunny, of his message, of what he stands for, this idea that this will be a Spanish-only halftime show.
This incident represents a major decline in the cultural success that conservatives had enjoyed recently among younger voters, and gives evidence for that idea from polling of increased trend of support for Democrats and a large decrease in Trump's approval from younger voters early in his presidency.
Also, a reaction by the US president, who is not a big fan of Bad Bunny, we know that, but he slammed it, calling it terrible, saying there was one of the worst ever. But the people here in the stadium, at least, they loved it.
Ben, it was a lot for people to take on in America, being the first Spanish language show. Has there been much groundswell around the president? The president, I guess we were expecting to hear from on this. What about the greater English-speaking America, if you like, when America's game has been given over to the Spanish language, at least in halftime?
That's right, but just if we look back, I mean, Bad Bunny won this Grammy Award for Debí Tirar Más Fotos, the first Spanish-speaking album that won this award, Album of the Year of the Grammy, so this was also kind of expected, and also many were probably wondering if he would have a message that would be even more critical of the Trump administration, of the White House, of ICE, of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, that he strongly criticized during this Grammys recently when he won this award.
Ryan Tyler Cohen, an American YouTuber, believes that the Super Bowl halftime event from Bad Bunny turned into an unintentional battleground over America's culture war between conservatives and liberals. Ultimately, this event backfired for both conservatives and Donald Trump. While efforts by Republicans to deter viewership were made, the Super Bowl halftime show broke all-time records for viewership, with 125 million to 135 million people watching the show.
With tonight's Super Bowl turned into a proxy culture war between Trump and Bad Bunny, things went from bad to worse for the White House. First of all, despite the heavy lift by those on the right to negatively polarize the halftime show, it ended up being one of, if not the most viewed Super Bowl halftime shows in history. The estimates range from 125 million to 135 million viewers, the latter stat being the highest viewership ever. So in terms of the MAGA effort to get people to change the channel during halftime, I think it's safe to say that they're losing their touch. Then Trump made yet another miscalculation because he posted, "The Super Bowl halftime show is absolutely terrible, one of the worst ever. It makes no sense."
At the same time, Donald Trump posted a statement on Truth Social denouncing the show for its language, style, and cultural impact. Ironically, he also stated that he did not even watch the counter-programming event featuring Kid Rock, but broke from both hypocrisy and common sense when Kid Rock's performance was mocked for lip-syncing and lack of entertainment.
You guys promised a big, tough, alpha male show, and instead you basically delivered an episode of RuPaul's Drag Race where Kid Rock was lip-syncing for his life. Another issue for the right is that not only did more people watch Bad Bunny perform for a record audience while Kid Rock lip-synced his own song in jorts, or at least tried to, but people were publicly supportive of Bad Bunny. JJ Watt tweeted, "Did I understand a single word of it? I did not. Was it a vibe? It was." Even Kash Patel's girlfriend tweeted in response to this photo from the Democrats featuring Bad Bunny with branding of All-American Halftime, "Unpopular, Republicans need to unite and get on better messaging because this branding is fantastic and allows all Dems to get behind it. Also, super aesthetic."
A 31-year-old artist whose album Debí Tirar Más Fotos won Album of the Year at this year's Grammys, has been outspoken in his criticism of Trump's deportation policies and openly supported Kamala Harris in the 2024 presidential race. Weeks before the Super Bowl, Trump fired back at Bad Bunny, calling his selection as the Super Bowl halftime act absolutely ridiculous. The president on Sunday renewed his attacks on the Puerto Rican performer. Bad Bunny, born Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio, headlined the Super Bowl halftime show at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California, becoming the first Latino solo artist to lead the event and the first to perform almost entirely in Spanish. The roughly 13-minute set leaned heavily into reggaeton rhythms, Puerto Rican imagery, and songs from his Grammy-winning album Debí Tirar Más Fotos, which claimed Album of the Year just a week earlier. Criticism surrounding the Bad Bunny halftime show isn't anything new. Weeks before the Super Bowl, Trump referred to the NFL's decision to book Bad Bunny as completely ludicrous, reflecting the political undertones about Bad Bunny's performance. Bad Bunny is a 31-year-old musician who has mixed music and social activism throughout his career. As one of the most popular artists worldwide, Bad Bunny has repeatedly denounced Trump's immigration and deportation policies while publicly supporting Kamala Harris ahead of the 2024 presidential election. At the Grammys a few days prior to the Super Bowl, Bad Bunny made a bold statement regarding U.S. immigration authorities, further solidifying his position leading up to the Super Bowl. Nevertheless, there was widespread acceptance of the performance by many on social media as a pivotal moment in the representation of both Latinos and Puerto Ricans within mainstream American entertainment. The performance featured vibrant choreography, island-inspired visuals, and surprise guest appearances from Lady Gaga and Ricky Martin, reinforcing the global reach Bad Bunny promised. As an alternative, the conservative group Turning Point USA streamed its own all-American halftime show, featuring Kid Rock and country artists including Brantley Gilbert, Gabby Barrett, and Lee Brice. As part of Bad Bunny's performance during Super Bowl 58, he gave an award to a boy during his halftime show, in addition to the two other performers, Lisa Simpson and Anthony Ramos, who will appear on stage after the show. However, this boy is not really a normal child, nor did Bad Bunny know him personally or meet him in any way, as the tweet implies. Instead, Bad Bunny met with him in person before performing, and he was a performer at the event. The child actor is named Lincoln Fox and was specifically hired for the event to play the part of Bad Young Boy. Adding on, Trump earlier said he was gearing up to send ICE to Bad Bunny's Super Bowl performance. When the NFL and Apple Music, they announced that Bad Bunny is going to be the halftime headliner this year. That sparked a controversy, right? Because even though Bad Bunny is from Puerto Rico, which is an American territory, many on the right believe that this was an un-American choice, right? With some outraged that his music is primarily in Spanish, not English.
Trump's gearing up to send ICE to Bad Bunny's Super Bowl performance. Because in case you missed it, the NFL and Apple Music, they announced that Bad Bunny is going to be the halftime headliner this year. And that's not like the most surprising news. He's one of the biggest artists in the world. But still, because everything is stupid, that sparked a controversy. Because even though Bad Bunny is from Puerto Rico, which is an American territory, many on the right believe that this was an un-American choice. Or with some outrage that his music is primarily in Spanish, not English. You had people like Megyn Kelly even calling this election an active middle finger to the right. And then others posting things like Roger Goodell and the NFL just decided to make the Super Bowl political. This is not a pick designed to unite football fans or let people just enjoy the show. It was a pick designed to divide fans, and no doubt Bad Bunny will find some way to push a woke message. Does this guy really scream American football to anyone? Right, and then with all that, you had people pointing to Bad Bunny actually opting to not do any shows in the 50 states for his recent tour because he has a huge Latino.
The backlash escalated when a senior DHS advisor stated that ICE enforcement would be present at the Super Bowl and warned that no event, including the halftime show, would be a safe haven for undocumented immigrants. Comments later backed up by ICE.
I didn't show up in the US, and none of them were out of hate. But there was the issue of, like, fucking ICE could be outside my concert. And well, now it's not just randoms and commentators online. This has reached the Trump administration, right? Because you had Corey Lewandowski, a senior advisor in the Department of Homeland Security, going on a podcast and getting asked if there would be ICE enforcement at the Super Bowl. And there he said,
"There is nowhere that you can provide safe haven to people who are in this country illegally, not the Super Bowl and nowhere else. We will find you, we will apprehend you, we will put you in a detention facility, and we will deport you." So know that that is a very real situation under this administration. It's so shameful that they've decided to pick somebody who just seems to hate America so much to represent them at the halftime game.
And so that clip, it's taken off, and you had ICE backing up those comments to TMZ, confirming that ICE presence will be at the event. And that ended up sparking its own wave of responses, with some thinking that it's ridiculous to threaten an ICE raid over a Puerto Rican and therefore American artist.
Super Bowl was won by the Seattle Seahawks, who defeated the New England Patriots 29-13. Seahawks Jason Myers set a Super Bowl record with 5 field goals, while Kenneth Walker III was named the Super Bowl 2026 MVP. The headlines have been dominated by on-field action, as well as the halftime show at Super Bowl 2020, which featured a wedding in which Bad Bunny served as a witness. According to reports, Bad Bunny was invited to the reference couple's wedding, but requested that it occur during halftime. The wedding occurred during the performance of Baile y Novidad, a song sung by Lady Gaga and Bad Bunny. Interestingly, the announcement of Bad Bunny performing at Super Bowl 2026 caused Trump to not attend the Super Bowl for the second year in a row as sitting president. In 2025, he became the first sitting president of the United States to attend a Super Bowl while serving as president. He began performing from within a sugarcane field that was the focal point of the show about Puerto Rico, his homeland. It was a performance piece that took audience members through a Latin environment, featuring things from a bar to a beauty salon. The celebration of family also played a large role in the evening. Bad Bunny handed over one of his Grammy Awards from Vanidad towards a little girl during Bad Bunny's acceptance speech during the 2026 Grammy Awards, played via video screen. That is all for today. Thanks for staying with us.